Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. We're going to take another look at this Truglo site for you, or Truglo Rest, sorry, my bad. The Truglo Storm Rest. We're going to take another look at it, and, well, I did a review on this a while back, and I used my Olympic bow, and because we were trying out different rests, and this is a bow that, like some traditional bows, has a bigger hole so you can throw on a different kind of a rest. And figure, well, let's try out a few, and we even got this one here with 3 brushes. Okay, now the one thing that these two both have in common is, well, when you use them, your arrow has to be oriented so that you have a odd fletch up. It doesn't matter if it's your off-colored one, or maybe it's, you know, one of the, in this case, a yellow one. Okay, could be either one of the yellow ones, because people also talk about knock tuning by just twisting the arrow. Well, the unfortunate thing with rests like this and the Truglo is you're only allowed to go with having a fletch upward. So you only get 3 choices of positions. Whisker biscuits, drop rest, you can do little micro adjustments, which is actually better and actually more usable. Okay, where this, not so much good math, turns out to be anything good for you. Unless you get lucky, but hey, what are the chances? So I've put several hundred rounds through this Truglo on this bear bow. And I put it on here only for one reason only, and that was because something was going weird with my bow. And I even went and took the bow in, had it checked out, and the cam timing was fine. So it's not the cams. Everything else about the bow was set up fine. My tiller was fine. Nothing wrong. It was just, we couldn't figure it out. So I thought, maybe it's just the factory whisker biscuit. I mean, this thing's been around since 2008, 2009. Okay, so it's a pretty old bow. And I don't know how many arrows were ever shot through it, you know, but I know what I've shot through it and through that whisker biscuit, and it did fantastic for a long time. And I only had to ever tighten it up once. And it's one of those whisker biscuits that is specifically designed to mount only one spot, so you don't have to worry about elevation, you don't have to worry about pitch, you know, in and out. You just got to worry about left and right. That's it, okay? So I don't know what went wrong. It doesn't even look like the whisker biscuit's even wearing. So I thought, well, something's definitely not right. So I put this sucker on, and well, the results speak for themselves. The bow shoots fantastic, once again. So I went to revisit this one again, because I felt that this one wasn't adjustable for up and down, but I was actually wrong about that. So, hey, it happens. What I want to do today is I want to fire off 3 arrows with the Truglo for you guys, and I want to fire an additional 3 arrows once I set this up, and we're going to see if this is actually better, because this does grab the arrow better. From what I can tell, it's either system, it's still a pain to load the arrow. You can't just drop your arrow right down on this one where you can on this, but you can't drop it down when your sight's in the way. So you're loading on this one, the Truglo, you have to actually go up from the front side in and load your arrow, okay? Where the other one, we have to stick our arrow in through the front and then come back. So a little bit different, a little bit, either one has their slowness to them. All right, so let's go set the camera up target side, and I have this thing set at 10, 20, and 30, so we're just gonna go to 10 yards. We're gonna see what kind of accuracy we can get, okay? Now, I've got a lot of practice in right-handed, so I'm getting really good, but a lot of this is up to the arrows, the rest, everything, so it's not just the shooter, okay? All right, let's go set the camera up target side for you guys. All right, guys, I'm gonna go down to 10 yards and see what happens. I did pull a little bit on this one. Had I not pulled, I'm willing to bet it probably would have been about here instead. But that's okay. We still got 2 out of there that are really good. So now I'm going to take a couple minutes off camera. We're going to switch to the different rest, and we're going to show you that that is the different rest, so that you know for sure I'm not trying to pull one over on you. And we'll throw 3 arrows through that one, so instant for you. All right, y'all ready for this one? Okay, so this is our other rest. This is a 3-brush system. You still got to have that odd fletch up no matter what, otherwise it ain't gonna shoot right, trust me. So in here is a screw, which originally I thought all that did was hold the thing. I didn't realize that that actually had elevation. I knew it had windage. We could rock this, So anyways, we got our setup really nice here. Just eyeballing things, right? And then a bunch of test rounds, seeing where things sit. Now, to get this thing to agree with my bow without changing the sight setup at all, it took a bit of tweaking, but it's not much different than the other one. Normally, when you look at the visual of your burger hole, you should be able to hold your bow out here, and technically you don't see the burger hole, and this arrow should not technically be at a slant. But even from the factory, it was like that with the original Whisker Biscuit, which has only got windage only. There is no elevation. There is no cocking it up or down. It's, it's steady, right? So it's kind of like, well, whatever. We'll take it as it is and see how things go. Now, I'm sure we could straighten the arrow by lowering our nocking point, and then that would actually bring this to a bit different angle, maybe cover that burger hole a bit. However, the bow shoots absolutely perfect the way it is, and it would completely throw out my anchor point too to lower this. But anyways, I'm okay with the bow the way it is. So let's go put some rounds through this, see how it does with this one. Okay, I'm gonna play nice. That's it. That's all we're gonna shoot. But we got a decent little group here. It's not bad. Could be better. A little tiny more tweaking, and I'm pretty sure we could easily fill up this whole gray area and probably even land ourselves a couple of bullseyes while we're at it. However, there's a reason why we decided to swap rests for you guys, and we're gonna go back to the table and talk about why. Well, all right, there's our Truglo that we first shot, and of course our other one. I can't remember the name of that one. It's on my channel somewhere, but anyhow, in all honesty, I find that this one, it's slower to load the arrows. That's one thing I find. 2, I can't just knock my arrow to the string, roll it over, and go into the sight. And what I mean by that is, this one will actually do it. So if I want to pop my arrow in there first, come over like this and drop it down, I actually have all the clearance to do that with. Okay, so I can do this, and then I can just push down gently, and I'm in, and that's not coming out. Works a lot like a Whisker Biscuit. It really captures it. So that's a big, huge benefit with this one. Neither one of these things, by the way, I can, okay, I'm not saying I can't. I can line up the arrow to cover over the middle of the burger hole. That's definitely possible. When I look at how things are centered, everything is definitely dead center, so we're good there. Just by eyeballing. I don't have a laser. I don't have all those other fancy bench or bow vices or bow press and all that. So I got to eyeball this stuff, and I got to tell you, I think I did a really good job. Anyways, this one doesn't have any kind of lock screw here, so you're gonna have to really torque down tight to lock it firm in there, but it is metal, so don't worry about it. The rest of this unit is plastic, like this. This is a combination of all metal bracketing, all plastic for the rest of it. Same thing goes here. All right, so they have that in common. This, I like how it holds the arrow much better. It's not going to get knocked down in below the shelf or, have a very bad mishap go on, right? But I have 2 options for loading. Option 1 is I can put it in and across, pop it down. Option 2 is I can feed it through the center and then do it this way. That's a lot more freaking time consuming, but I can do either way and it works fine, all right? But I had a reason for bringing this one back into the picture, and that's because my bad on this one was I did not realize that that actually had adjustable height. I thought it was just screwed on and that was it. That was my bad. And hey, you know what? I don't know everything. I'm not perfect, but when I find out new stuff or I find out where I went wrong, I have no problem admitting to it. So there you go. We've gotten that settled down. Okay, let's move on. Now with this one here, you have to load backwards down and in, okay? You can't just roll it over because your sight's going to be in the way. So, or it may be in the way. I don't know. It depends on how big your sight scope bell is. I mean, mine's pretty chunky mug because this is a trophy ridge mist sight, so it's got a pretty big bell on it. But if you have a much smaller one, you might get away with doing that same thing that I can do with this rest. Hard to say. I don't know what you got. I don't really, it doesn't matter to me. Either one of them is going to be fine. I think whatever rest you pick is going to work just fantastic for you. What works for you doesn't work for other people. What you like, other people hate, okay? What you hate, other people love and adore. I mean, it's just the way we all are, okay? But there is something to be said where the Truglo does have a major problem, and that is it's not that difficult for that arrow to fall down and in, okay? So even when it's resting up here, there's nothing to stop it from coming back up once it's down, where that one locks it solid, okay? It ain't coming back up, right? So this goes up and down, but this can go kick it over this way, or it can kick over that way. It doesn't take much of a bump to do it, okay? Also, it can just pop up if you're walking with your bow in your hand in the bush and you've got an arrow in here. This could be a problem for you, okay? So there is that one big thing about this, but otherwise I think it's a really fine rest. But it is certainly not worth 82 bucks Canadian on Amazon. It's not worth $90 Canadian at Canadian Tire. Mind you, our North Bay store had them on clearance. They ordered 2 of them almost 4 years ago, and I'm the only one that bought 1 of them. I don't know if the other one got sold yet. I haven't even looked in the cabinet lately. But I'm sure the other Canadian Tires also didn't order too many because they have other archery supplies that they want to get too, and they usually feel stuff out for a bit. And if it's a product that's going to move for them, they order more. But if it's not a product that's going to move, well, obviously it hit clearance, and yeah, that's it. They're not bringing in anymore. They're done. And that's probably going to be nationwide in Canada. But good news is you can buy it on Amazon.com or Amazon.ca or Amazon. Wherever you live. If they have it on their site, you can buy it. But if you want to pay that kind of blood money, I think you'd be a fool to spend that kind of money on a site or on a rest, because that rest is, in my opinion, it's not worth more than $45 Canadian top side. And I mean, that's maxing. That's really pushing it, and I'm being really generous with what I feel the Truglo Storm actually should sell for, because it's just not worth it to pay more than that. The other one, I can't remember. I didn't pay very much for it, but it's a far superior model over the Truglo, right, in many ways. But it has its own shortcomings too. You know, they all do, right? But I'm not going to be putting the Truglo back onto my bare bow for a couple of reasons. One, I have had my arrow knocked down a few times on me. It really pisses in my cornflakes, okay? That's one. Number two, I can't just take my arrow and pop it in here and then go around with ease and then push down. It doesn't allow me to do that because of my sight. And I'm tired of taking a longer time to load an arrow between shots, especially when I'm trying to shoot a video, because then I got to do some extra editing. And I don't mind editing for you guys, don't get me wrong, but, you know, I have to watch everything until I know right where that cycle hits, and, you know, it's like, okay, and depending on the weather outside, if it's windy and I'm shooting, I may not see that little spike in the audio where the arrow fired, so it's kind of like, well, you know. But yeah, I like this because it doesn't matter what I do. Upside down, this won't handle upside down. Knocking it this way, doing all this, well, it might handle a little bit, or maybe not. Maybe it just fly right off on me, who knows. But somewhere along the line, my arrow could get pushed down inside either left or right pocket here. This one is not going to allow that to happen, okay? It's going to be a lot of excessive force to get that to happen. Now, am I going to change my star rating from my initial video review on this when we tested it? No, I think everything should stay status quo. So if you want to check out that video and see what I said about the star rating, the link will be in the description box below. You can check it out there. It's near the back end of the video if you want to just hear the numbers, but you can also see how crappy I shot in comparison, because that is a traditional bow with a weird sight. I do much better with compounds. I'm still working on trad bows though. Don't worry about that. But I think I'm gonna leave that other one on, and maybe one of these days I'll find a use for this one once again. It's been fun. I mean, I've shot several hundred rounds through this thing, and it's not showing much wear at all on anything. So it's definitely in for the long haul for the wear factor. So these replaceable feet, which they do give you extras, you're not going to replace them too darn often, that's for sure. So pick your favorite color out of the package to start with, and you probably get thousands of rounds out of it before you got to worry about it. And then you just change it out to another color that might not be your favorite, but still workable for you. Whatever, I guess. At least they gave us some spare parts, right? So give them a kudo for that. Anyway, that's where I'm at with this one, and I think we're done with this video. So I'm going to take off out of here, and you guys can go check out what I did say about the star rating on the Truglo. I'm sticking by it though, and I definitely stick by the fact that what I paid for 30 bucks was worth it to me, okay? And it is worth 30. It is definitely really pushing it, but it is worth 45 at the very top side. But don't pay more than that. I mean, you wait it out long enough, even Amazon will clearance them out on prices, or they'll just have sales because they're not moving. So if you kind of boycott it and don't pay their stupid, ridiculous money they want for something that's so overpriced, well, it'll come down in price. Everything always does when it sits there for too long in inventory. So, hey, I've done the waiting game on lots of products, and it's worth it to sometimes just play that game. Thanks a lot. See you in the next one.